pressure to be perfect is real, but experts agree we can keep perfectionism from ruling our lives. So today, we're sharing lessons from a recovering perfectionist, real-life strategies from an expert who's been there. Joining me is Sue Bergin, a BYU professor, journalist, and author who has written about the healing pain, the pain of perfectionism. You call yourself a recovering perfectionist. Tell us a little bit about that journey and how you got there.
Well, I don't think I understood I was a perfectionist for a long time. And when I started really experiencing anxiety and depression without any insight into what was going on, I finally figured out, with the help of some others, you're trying too hard. You're trying to be perfect. Your anxiety and depression are coming from never feeling like you get to where you think you should be, partly because you're trying to go too high. You know, your expectations are unrealistic. So it's very painful. It hurts.
Yeah. We think a lot and talk a lot about the other side trying to motivate people, but it's true that a lot of people are burdened with those really high expectations that are maybe
well, and the idea that we have to be improving all the time. You know, growth is good, but we don't have to improve every single day.
So what does
we can't.
No, absolutely.
We can't.
What does the research say? Is this something that we're born with, or is it, you know, are we trained to be this way?
Well, it's like most things, it's a combination. There are people, I'm sure, who have, including me, who have a predisposition. I'm pretty sure I was born with a temperament, with a tendency toward this. But then you can have it encouraged, you can have it bloom if you have the right fertile ground. And that includes things like parenting, where you're criticized a lot and you're trying to avoid the pain of being criticized. I didn't have that, but a lot of people do. Or parents who, or not even just parents, but teachers, others who are praising you a lot for performance. So they're not loving you and helping you feel worthy because you are just here and you exist and you're
it's for
loved.
Something you've done.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, oh, you've got such great grades. You know, keep that up.
End result.
Or, yeah.
Right.
Right. Instead of, you have such a good heart, or I love your honesty.
Absolutely. And you say that it's important to replace language, perfectionist language. Tell me a little bit about that idea.
Well, I recognized over time, especially with the help of a counselor, a therapist, that I was saying things to myself all the time, like, I must do this, I should have done that, I've got to. And I just had to learn, and he helped me, how to have some phrases, I call them hip pocket phrases, just at the ready to replace those thoughts in my mind. So I don't have to. Or I want to, I choose to, but I don't have to. Just more gentle, and I'm not going for perfection, I'm going for progress.
Awesome. And you say another step in the right direction is to learn to be vulnerable.
Yes. One of the things perfectionists do is they wear masks. We all wear masks to some degree. But if you're a perfectionist, you cover up your failings, you cover up your feelings that you're not worthy or not good enough. And when you're feeling these feelings, if you're able to share that with somebody instead of covering it up, not just anybody, you want to share it with someone you trust and someone you feel safe with, although it's okay to risk sometimes, you share that vulnerability. I'm feeling so low, I made this terrible mistake yesterday and I'm ruminating on it, and I'm just circling and cycling with it, and I can't get it off my mind. Can we just talk about that? So being vulnerable about it, instead of just holding it in here and ruminating.
And you know a thing or two about vulnerability because you spent some time as a chaplain for people who were about to pass. Tell me a little bit about that. What did, do people look back at their life with regret for not being more perfect? Did they look back with, gosh, I would have let some things go? How did that manifest?
I did meet quite a few people who did not feel good enough to meet their maker. And that was painful to me and for them because by all accounts from their family, their friends who were surrounding them, they were just the best people ever. And I longed for them to be able to see they were good enough. God doesn't expect this, perfect person to arrive in heaven, or whatever you believe about that.
Right.
So merciful. There's so much mercy. There's so much grace. There's so much love.
And we talked a little bit about standards in the beginning, but having high standards, is that important, or is that driving this perfectionist attitude?
There's a difference between striving for excellence and being perfectionistic. So if you're doing everything in your life out of a sense of duty, then that's perfectionism and perfectionistic, and that's going to create all kinds of problems for you. If your main motivation in life is to do things out of a deep sense of right and wrong, that's beautiful. But if you're doing this duty thing, then you're going to burn out. It's not coming from an intrinsic place, and it just doesn't, it's not sustainable.
And you say that it's actually okay to muddle through. I love this phrase. Go ahead and muddle through. How can people do that? That's another hip pocket phrase that I use a lot. I don't know how to do this. I'm going to make some mistakes. What if I do make mistakes that are visible and public? Because that's the big fear of perfectionists, you know, public humiliation because of failure. I know a little bit about that. All right.
But we all do it, you know, we all do it. And by public, I don't mean necessarily a wide audience, but just in your own family
Just
or
people watching.
Right.
Absolutely. And I love this final suggestion you have, which is gratitude. Gratitude can kind of be a cure for some of these things. Tell me about how that works.
Gratitude has been almost magical for me. So a lot of perfectionism comes from comparing ourselves to other people and seeing that others have more or they're better in some way. And if we take the focus off that and instead think about what we have, you know, I believe that God is teaching us all something different. And so whoever has these things that I might want or think I should have, they're getting taught lessons and learning things that are different from what I need. And if I can be grateful for what I have, it just takes the focus off the I have to be perfect. It just, it calms, it helps you feel blessed. You recognize that you are enough, you are worthy.
Recognize those blessings, absolutely. For viewers who want more of your insight, where can they go to find it?
Well, I've written a book called Am I a Saint Yet? Healing the Pain of Perfectionism, and it's available on Amazon. And
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sue. We appreciate your insight into this.
You're welcome.